Well, Chicago is bracing itself now for some record-breaking extreme heat. An excessive heat watch is in place for Chicago residents starting this evening. It's expected to last until tomorrow, and forecasters say the heat and humidity will bring temperatures near or past 100 degrees. Schools across the area taking precautions as well, including suspending all outdoor games scheduled for today or tomorrow. Some districts even delaying the start of the school year. Let's welcome now Dr. Taison Bell. He's an associate professor of infectious disease and critical care medicine at the University of Virginia. Dr. Bell, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. This is an important topic, impacts so many across the country. So what are some of the signs of heat stroke people should look out for if they're going to be outside for a long period of time?
I'm glad you asked because this is something that we need to be aware of. So the signs of heat exhaustion and heat stroke are many, but pale, flushed skin could be a sign, someone who's profusely sweating, obviously someone who's very thirsty. And then at the later stages, a headache, nausea, vomiting, or maybe even confusion. And these are signs that someone needs to get cooler immediately, get them to a cooling station, hydrate them, or even call EMS if the signs are really severe.
So how fast can someone suffer heat stroke when outside in these high temperatures?
I mean, when it's really hot outside, it can be within a minute, the matter of just a few minutes. What we have to keep in mind is that we have the combination of high heat and high humidity. This is what's happening with the heat dome that we're in right now. And particularly with the high humidity, that impairs your body's ability to sweat and normally cool itself down. And so when you have that deadly combination, you combine that with people who may be high risk, those at extremes of age, those are above age 65, infants and children, those who are pregnant, and especially people that are outside exerting themselves. I'm thinking about construction workers, delivery drivers, and athletes. It can really become dangerous very quickly.
Yeah, certainly quickly if you're talking about minutes there. So what is the difference between someone suffering from heat exhaustion versus heat stroke?
Well, it's really a continuum, and heat exhaustion would be the earlier signs that you're suffering from heat-related illness, and heat stroke would be those really severe signs. So someone who's confused, maybe they passed out, that's a sign that you really need to get them to the hospital. But it would begin with more of the subtle signs, someone who feels and seems like they're really hot, the pale and flushed skin. But as I said, as the heat continues on, that person's still out there at risk. It can certainly progress to the later stage of heat stroke.
Important to be mindful there. All right, we'd love to get your take on one other topic. Health officials warning people to take extra precautions against mosquito bites. Now, this is after the rare mosquito-borne virus, Triple E, was reported in Alabama and New York. 2 cases were reported with people in Alabama, one of them being fatal. The virus was also found in horses and mosquitoes in New York, though no human cases have been reported there. So while cases of Triple E are rare, the CDC does note around 30% of those diagnosed end up dying from this virus. We all know to wear bug repellent with DEET in it. What else would you recommend, doctor, people do to avoid these bites while being outside?
Well, everyone knows to wear DEET, but I think we need to keep saying it because you actually have to do it. And luckily, as you said, there's a host of different diseases that can be transmitted by mosquitoes: Triple E, West Nile, dengue, even Zika. We've had some cases of malaria that's been rare transmitted in the United States. But the really essential thing is to keep yourself safe and try to prevent mosquito bites. So wearing DEET is very essential, especially if you're going into the woods, if you're camping, or if you're hiking. You're going to want to wear loose-fitting clothing that covers your skin, especially around your ankles and feet. Mosquitoes love to hang out around there. And if you're around your home, make sure that you get rid of standing water. So if you have a leaky hose or something like that, you're going to want to make sure to take care of that because you don't want to make an environment where mosquitoes can actually breed and hang around.
Yeah, important during these warmer months. Dr. Taison Bell, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.